Welcome back to what is our 20th episode of Why Iowa. And today we're going to talk to you about an Iowa icon, Bob Steenlage. Bob would become the first Iowan ever to become a four-time state champion in wrestling.
Here in the heartland, this is the working man. These are the fields of dreams of American. No, you can't take that away. I want to stay here in the heartland. I'm here in the heartland.
Growing up in Britt, Iowa, Bob Steenlage would come from a dysfunctional family and a father who was dealing with issues coming from his experience within World War II. His sixth grade teacher, Miss Baker, would be instrumental in turning Bob from a poor student to one that would soon begin to excel in the classroom and believe. Bob started working for area farmers, and soon that work ethic started to emerge that would take him far in life. He'd be a multi-sport athlete throughout his years at Britt High School, participating in football, wrestling, and track. Coach Kent Townley would become an instrumental figure in Bob's life. He'd almost act as a surrogate father, and he would mentor and he would lead Bob to his first state championship in 1959. And then following in 1960 and 61, his second and third state championship. But coming into his fall year during football, he found out that Coach Townley had unexpectedly left, and this was very devastating to Bob, and he had to go back to think about the positive thoughts to get through this. Soon a new role model would emerge in Britt, Iowa, and that'd be Coach Jim Craig. Jim Craig was a native of Davenport, Iowa, who had wrestled at the University of Iowa and was a national champion in 1955. Jim would be the coach that would mentor Bob into his senior year and help him manage the pressure of becoming the first four-time state champion in Iowa. Coming into his senior year, the realization of accomplishing this goal was becoming evident. During that senior season, Bob talked Coach Craig into working takedowns with him one day in practice. Coach Craig, who was about 190 pounds at that time, outweighed Bob pretty significantly. And during this, Bob suffered a back injury. The back injury was so bad that he went to the doctor. And the doctor came back from the x-rays and said, "Bob, your wrestling career is over." Upon hearing this news, Bob decided that can't be the case. Unbeknownst to his doctor, he walked across the street to a chiropractor who had recently started in town. The chiropractor took the same x-rays and looked at it and said, "Bob, as long as you can tolerate the pain, your injury can't get any worse through wrestling." Bob would make it to the semifinal match in the state tournament that year. And in that semifinal match, he would win, but he knew something was wrong and he suffered an injury in his shoulder. Unbeknownst to him, to the next day, what had happened was he had separated his shoulder. And so going into the championship match, Bob was literally wrestling with one arm. His right shoulder would pop in and out of place, and he got on the match, and in the end of the third period, it was a 2-2 tie. The official would go to the scores table, and for nearly 2 minutes, they would discuss what was going to occur. They were looking at the riding time, and as he turned around and walked back to the mat, Bob said he looked him straight in the face to see if he could get some type of idea how this was going to play out. And the official came back, and he grabbed Bob's hand, and as he raised his right arm in the air, pain shot from his fingertips to his toe because of the dislocated shoulder. But the official turned to Bob and said, "Congratulations on becoming the first four-time state wrestling champion in Iowa." Bob has shared his inspirational story across the country about overcoming adversity and recognizing that we have the freedom to choose our thoughts regardless of the circumstances. Bob has an attitude of gratitude. He'll challenge you to do one act of kindness every day while also being mindful of what you are grateful for. And at the end of the day, Bob will always say, never, never give up. To all of our Iowa visitors, thanks to our partner Musco Lighting, all Iowa students receive free admission to the Iowa Hall of Pride.
This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
The Iowa Hall of Pride, located in downtown Des Moines, is an interactive celebration of all that is good about Iowa. The people that are recognized at the Iowa Hall of Pride are former Iowa students who excelled in sport, on the stage, and as great ambassadors of their communities. And you better believe that it's filled with UNI Panthers.
We have, the UNI volleyball we visited with last year. We interviewed Coach Farley here about 3 years ago in our football display. And we're always visiting those local schools, your UNI and the D3 schools here in the state. And there's so much great talent in our state that stays in state, including in our 360 room, the Drake UNI rivalry we have highlighted from basketball last year. We just interviewed Nick Nurse last year. And he was down for the Iowa Basketball Coach Association, and we sat down right over here in the basketball display. And again, like he said, he still has his 515 phone number, and it's an Iowa kid, and his advice he gave was, as growing up in Carroll, going to UNI, and then his career just taken off. But he said, if a kid from Carroll, Iowa can do it, hopefully someone can walk through here and hear my story and be inspired to do it also. And so it's incredible when you look at Coach Entz, we talked about earlier, growing up in Waterloo, Wartburg, coaching at UNI, and now North Dakota. We've got so many great Iowans that just have that work ethic, and that work ethic came out of rural Iowa, but we're still seeing that work ethic being formed within our school-based activities. That's where our kids are getting it still, and take pride in that, and the sky's the limit. The purple and gold, right away when someone comes in the Hall of Pride, it's Iowa State, or UNI, and it's always fun to see who their team is, and you can make that connection. And just even here today and visit with you guys, there's those guys, the common denominator, and that pride of your high school carries over to your college, especially these in-state guys. When they go to UNI, when they come back, they remember those friends, they talk about those stories, those experiences, and it's a great history that takes place up in Cedar Falls and UNI, and we're excited to be a part of it and to be able to share those stories here at the Hall of Pride.
Welcome back to High School Spotlight, where we highlight a high school athlete every week and recognize them for their achievements. This week's episode features Grace Hardcastle, who plays basketball at ADM High School. Grace has been a phenomenal basketball player for the Tigers this past year, and also was her junior and sophomore seasons. She has 105 points this year in just the 11 games that they've played, and also is shooting 33% from three-point range. She recently broke ADM's school record for points in a game, passing the old record of 36 when she scored 37 last Tuesday against Carlisle. I asked her who she looked up to, who impacted her the most at ADM, and what advice she would give her younger self. This is what she said.
Advice to my younger self would definitely be content with yourself. Be content with yourself. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. You don't have to change who you are for anyone. And I've saved so much time and energy and emotion just knowing that, and just realizing that I don't have to explain myself for everything, from little things to big things. You don't have to explain yourself, and it'll save you so much. And I wish I knew it sooner, because it would have saved me even more time and energy and emotion. But I'm also really grateful that I was able to figure that out, because I know so many people that, just struggle with so much, again, from little to big things that they could avoid so easily just by being content with themselves. Who has impacted me most at Adele? I would say Coach Cleveland, just because when I transferred here sophomore year from Waukee, it was scary. I mean, it always is, but I had no idea how it would be for me, if it would be a good move, if I would succeed here, if it was a smart move. Like, I had absolutely no idea. And so coming in, it was scary, coming into like an already established team and coach and everything. But then we got a new coach, and it was Coach Cleveland. And so him also coming from Waukee was really comforting, just knowing that I truly, truly had a fresh start, and so did he. It was nice, and he has done an amazing job building the program and completely just revamping it from what it was, and really getting us involved in the community and with all the younger girls. And I've built amazing relationships with so many people just because of him and his work that he's done. So I really appreciate him and everything that he's done for me, and how he's helped me succeed and pushed me. And he's also super, super positive. And I think that's why all of us girls on the team love him so much, is he's never, ever degrading. He pushes us, but he's still really positive, and the energy that he puts in the gym, every practice, every time I see him, is really positive and encouraging for all of us. Who I look up to is definitely my parents, really my entire family, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my siblings. I really, truly have the best family in the whole world. Everyone is so supportive, and everyone cares about me so much. And I know that there's some people that don't have that, and so I'm so grateful that I have them to push me, Sometimes I don't like it. Sometimes I really, really hate it. But, that's why I'm who I am today. And that's why I will continue to strive to be just like them, and which is amazing. So yeah, I'm really grateful for all of them, and I truly look up to everyone in my family, even if they're younger than me, because everyone has something that they've taught me and given me. So
Thank you to Grace for giving me her time this week, and we will see you next week.
You can learn more about Bob Steenlage and his personal biography that was written by Mike Chapman called Fighting Back. Thank you, Bob, for taking the time to visit with me the other day on the phone. Look forward to talking to you soon.